That's displayed by our president. Here he is, falling up the stairs again. I'm not showing this to be mean or to poke fun at him. It's not my intention. Rather, I'm showing you this because his stumbles are more symbolic than you think. Symbolic to how we as a nation have been doing the past 2 years under Joe Biden. Stumbling all over the world stage in a way I have not seen, and you probably have not seen before in your lifetime. Take, for example, the Middle East. Iran, always been the biggest problem, at least in my lifetime. But it was one of the Trump team kept under control. They had crippling sanctions, targeted attacks. But now we show weakness by begging them to get back into that terrible nuclear deal. They balked, of course, rapidly enriched uranium, and began aiding and arming Russia. Great. Now watch as Israel takes things into their own hands. In fact, it's already happening. Afghanistan, for example, always challenging, but as of late, the last 20 years, not a terror haven. Why? Because Joe left the Taliban a country, they're a terrorist country, and now we left them weapons to defend their terror ways. Go over to Europe, a continent pulsating with death and destruction like we have not seen in 80 years. As we forecasted, Russia invaded 1 year ago Ukraine, a nation we neglected to arm, projected to lose quickly. Wrong on both counts. They are world-class fighters, and Russia is shown to be world-class barbarians. And Biden's boys, too slow to get President Zelensky the weapons he needs to win. In fact, has enough just not to lose. That's not okay. In China, there was a competitor, but now they are clearly a rival, an enemy, whose belligerent behavior makes one think confrontation is no longer hypothetical, try inevitable. Beyond our borders suddenly seems beyond our control. But for the first time in a really long time, it's forcing many to shift their focus and frustration from looking abroad at all to saying, hey, how about things at home? Why don't we keep it here in our own backyard?
Yeah, tens of illegal immigrants show up in Martha's Vineyard and they go crazy as if they're being overwhelmed. Yet here in Yuma, Arizona, we see a community on the front lines of an invasion.
People here in East Palestine and other communities across the country are really viewed by those in the Biden administration as though there's some kind of annoyance, or it's just horrible.
Right. These are all great issues, but we should be able to handle all of it. Under normal presidencies, most presidencies, you didn't have to make a choice between domestic policy and foreign policy. You have to do both. LBJ had the Vietnam War. Pretty bad, right? Civil rights to deal with and an economy to keep going. FDR had to lead America in and out of a world war while getting us out of a depression. He did both. It was never easy, but he did it. George W. Bush had to navigate 2 wars in the Middle East and still somehow managed to have a thriving economy. Don't forget that. And so why does Joe Biden, for example, make it seem like everything is out of reach? Why can't President Biden multitask and protect and lift up our own citizen, or at least thrive at one? To me, it is just plain bad leadership. A stumbling Joe Biden has brought his lack of balance physically to our nation politically. Here's the good news. We have not fallen flat. We've just stumbled down. Plenty of time to get up, dust off, and claim back our super power status. But the question is, do we have to wait for Joe to go to do it? Deep question. Let's ask Fox News contributor Mark.